So what is the thing that most parents get wrong when it comes to feeding their kids? I was doing an interview last week for our local morning show, and the reporter asked me this question. Being a parent can often be all-consuming. At least it feels that way sometimes to me. And this is especially true, I think, when it comes to feeding our kids, because there is so much information out there and so much advice. And it's compounded by the fact that nutrition science seems to always be changing, doesn't it? Fat is bad, low carb is good. Actually, low carb is bad. That just means more sugar. Bring on the fat. Meanwhile, as parents, we're exhausted, overworked, and underappreciated. It seems like the kids are always getting sick, which means we're always getting sick. And yet, despite all of that, we're consumed with worry about their growth, their health, their safety, their future. And now you're telling me that I also have to get them to not only eat, but like broccoli? Something has got to give. So I understand why a focus on long-term healthy habits, especially as they relate to food, can end up last on your priority list. I can hear you saying, just let me get something on the table and avoid a mealtime meltdown. Isn't that enough? But here's the thing. Here's the mistake that most parents make when it comes to feeding their kids. And here's what I told the reporter. The mistake parents make most often is not being patient and persistent. They give up and give in too soon. They give up on trying to help their kids develop healthy habits, on trying to improve their family's dinner routine, or creating their own health routines too soon. And they give in to their kids' demands for something else, anything else, rather than staying confident in their role too soon. And here's why that's a problem. After more than 20 years of doing nutrition research, 16 of those spent as a parent, the thing that has consistently been demonstrated to be true is that healthy, confident, mindful eaters develop over decades, not dinners. This is important. I'm going to say it again. Healthy, confident, mindful eaters develop over decades, not dinners. It takes years of consistency, years of practice to develop healthy habits. I mean, think about it. Think about the last time you tried to create a new habit or to get rid of an old one. How'd that go? So it's really easy after trying something a time or two and it not working out the way that you think it should to just give up, to get discouraged and quit trying, or to get stuck in the feeling that tonight's dinner, this lunch is the most important lunch. And if it doesn't happen right now at lunch, it will never happen. If he doesn't eat broccoli today and like it, he'll never like it. I get it. Given my professional background and training, and equally importantly, my own relationship with food, when I became a parent, I felt an immense pressure to make the most of every single meal. I felt like every dinner had to contribute meaningfully and positively to helping my kids have a balanced, healthy relationship with food. I worked overtime trying to achieve this goal. So when things went awry, as they tend to do with kids, when I couldn't follow my plan exactly, or dinner didn't taste as good as I thought it would, or I forgot about that late meeting and I couldn't even, make what I had planned and I had to scramble for something last minute, or I took the time to try something new and my kids took one look at it and refused to eat it. What happened for me in each of those instances is that I ended up feeling like I was failing. I was failing them and I was failing to achieve my goals because I let each and every dinner carry so much weight. And it's easy to do. We want the best for our kids. So it's easy to fall into this trap of thinking that this meal is the most important meal. But I have discovered that what happens tonight is not as important as what happens over the next 10 nights, and then the next 10 months, and then the next several years. And the thing is that we forget we actually do have this much time to help our kids develop these habits. I mean, get this, if you followed the recommendations of the American Academy of Pediatrics and you started feeding your baby at 6 months old, breakfast, lunch, and dinner until the day they turned 18, do you know how many meals you would prepare for them? Have you ever done this math? Don't get out your calculator. I will tell you. 18,690. 18,690. 18,000 times you have to plan for, shop for, prepare, serve, and clean up from a meal. Even if you gave them cereal every morning, you outsourced lunch to daycare and school. You took off one night a week for takeout. You forget about the weekends, and you assume that 2 weeks out of the year, someone else is cooking for you. You are still on the hook for 4,500 meals, to say nothing of snacks. Now, I know that this might feel overwhelming, but I hope it also feels a little bit empowering, because you don't just have this one meal, this dinner, this lunch to help your kids become healthy, mindful eaters. You don't have to feel the weight of making tonight's dinner be the dinner that everybody loves and everybody finishes, and that magically turns them into lifelong healthy eaters, poof, overnight. Tonight's dinner doesn't have to be the night that they love or even eat broccoli, because you have 18,000 more times to try.